Hi, this is Rob from the Flexitive team, and today I'm going to be taking you through how to build a responsive HTML5 design from a template in Flexitive. Now, what I've got in front of me here is the design that we're actually going to be building today. And this has just been built out with a variety of different responsive aspect ratios, such that when I combine these, I can create a fully responsive design. Now, if you want to take a look at how this looks, I can click on this pop-out preview right here. And from here, you'll be able to see the design with the animations that we've set up applied. And as I resize this through a variety of different screen sizes and resolutions, it's able to adapt. Say, for example, if we go to more of a tablet size or to a size for a mobile phone, it's able to adjust to these different aspect ratios and resolutions based on those different responsive aspect ratios that we've created. Today, I'm going to be taking you through how to activate this as a template, how you can preview and export this design, and how you can go about using this design in your own responsive design projects. Now, the first step to building a responsive flexitive design is to give it a title, description, and custom ID. So for today, I'm just going to call this Celebrate Coffee, give it the description Premium Roast, and we'll give it the custom identifier ABCC for Adaptive Bean Coffee Co., O1-EN for English, and CAN for Canada. From here, just tap Create. Now, this is going to take us to the template selection screen in Flexitive, and from this screen, I'll be able to choose to either enter a template or a blank canvas to start my design. Now, if you're jumping into a blank canvas, you can use either a fixed size, responsive size, or social size blank canvas. And if you jump into a template, you'll be provided with a number of assets that are there as placeholders for you to then replace with your own brand assets. If you're working on an enterprise account, you may also have access to some custom templates. We can help you set these up on an enterprise account. Just give us a shout and we can get you started on building these custom templates. For today, I'm going to jump into this Adaptive Bean Celebrate Coffee template that's been constructed here. Now, the first screen you'll see after selecting a template is Editor Lite. And from this view, I can make some very quick edits to both the design labels as well as the design content all within this screen and have it apply across the whole design. So I'm going to start by changing the channel to be display. We'll set the country to Canada and the language to be English, just to quickly update that design metadata. And then I can also change the images and text within this design within this Edit Design Content section. So if I'd like to change the text, say for example, for the button, rather than saying button, I'd like it to say learn more. I can just type that text in there. I can also change the color of my text, as well as if there's a shape, I can change the color of that shape. Change my first line of text to Celebrate Coffee. And as you can see, we've also provided a recommended number of characters to use in this section. So in this case, we've given a 16-character recommendation. This is not necessarily a hard and fast rule, but more of a recommendation for an approximate number of characters you should use. If you want to swap out an image, you can do that as well. All you need to do is for the image that you'd like to change, just tap Upload New Image, and then choose the image that you'd like to bring into the canvas to replace it. In this case, I'll use this Premium Roast Coffee Cup. As usual, you can use PNGs, JPEGs, SVGs, or GIFs whenever you're uploading an image to Flexitive. Once you've made these changes, if you want to take a look at what they look like, you can just tap Preview. And this will update the preview on the right-hand side so you can see what your design has been updated to be. So you can see the coffee cup's been swapped in, and the text has been swapped out for each size. At this point, if I'd like to make actual additional edits to this design, I can go into the editor by just tapping the Go to Editor button here. So after activating your design using Editor Lite, at this point you could now go in and make some additional adjustments based on your personal preferences. You can also adjust things like the minimum and maximum dimensions for a responsive design. Now this is set in the Active or All Sizes view up in this top bar up here. And if by default, it's going to be turned off, but if I turn it on, you'll see that I have the option to set minimum width, minimum height, maximum width, and maximum height. Now, when you go to either preview or export this design, these dimensions that you set will be pulled into the design to make it so that as it's resizing, it cannot go more or less than those minimum and maximum values. So for example, if I set my minimum width to be 250 pixels, my minimum height to be, well, we can go the same. We can also do a maximum width. We'll make this, say, 1300 pixels, and we'll do a maximum height of 750 pixels. By setting this in this top bar here, if I then go into my preview panel, you'll see that these values have been automatically populated for each of the individual sizes, as well as for the fully responsive preview. The same will be done in your export panel as well. This makes it really easy to, all in one place, make a change that's going to propagate across all your sizes for preview and export. Now, the next step, I'm just going to do a quick preview of my design. For previewing, there are two different options. You can either preview your design in the in-app preview, or you can preview your design in an external preview page. In-app preview is perfect if you just want to do some reviews on your own and you want to see how the design is going to resize responsively. The external preview page is where is what you'll create if you want to send this to someone who isn't necessarily a Flexitive user. So to start, I'm just going to do a in-app preview. We'll tap this button here, quickly save our changes. And this is going to take us into a view where we'll be able to actually resize and the design that we've created so far to see how it looks at each individual breakpoint. Now you can also see that when I hit 250 pixels high, it's not able to go any smaller. And similarly, if I go out to 750 pixels, it's not able to get any larger. And this is just based on those maximum minimum dimensions we set earlier. I can do the same thing, of course, to look at more portrait versions, and then the square 250 by 250. If I would like to send a preview across to a client or someone who doesn't necessarily have access to Flexitive, the best way to do that is our external preview page. So you can see here that we have two buttons, one for the in-app preview, which is what we were just using, and the second for an external preview. And if we tap this button here, it's actually going to create a separate URL that you can then send across to anyone to view the design. Now this URL is going to display all of the different sizes that you need, and it's going to update in real time. So if, say, for example, I changed the image of a coffee cup to a different element, that's going to update for you automatically. In this view, if you would like, you can also take a look at the pop-out preview. Now this is going to look similar to, this is going to be the same look that you saw when we were working with the original design in the beginning. But if we just open this up here, you can see that this will pop out and those minimum and maximum dimensions are still going to apply. So maximum width of 1300 with the height of 750. As I resize it, you'll see that it's able to adjust to any screen size or resolution. Once we get down to these thinner sizes that are less than 250, it's going to stop resizing. Similarly, I can resize in a vertical direction and take a quick look at how this design will look like at any screen size or resolution. If you'd like to preview a specific aspect ratio at these different screen sizes and resolutions, say for example this 3:2, you can click on the pop-out preview for that specific size. And then in this instance, you can take a look at how it's going to resize as well. With these fixed aspect ratios, you're going to see that it's going to maintain its aspect ratio as it resizes to make sure that it always looks good. Now, once you're happy with your design, the next step is going to be to export. So I'm just going to quickly go back to the editor. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see there's an export panel here. So I'll just quickly click on that. And in this panel, you can see that we were already set up to export responsive HTML5. Now, at this point, you can choose whether you want to export for an ad server or for a CMS. CMS platforms used to handle website content, whereas an ad server might be used to show a display ad. For today, I'm going to do an ad server. The next step is going to be just choosing which ad server I'd like to export for. I'm just going to choose DoubleClick Campaign Manager. Now, by default, everything is going to be selected for exporting. You can choose which sizes you would like to include. So I'm just going to select all sizes off. And for today, I'm actually just going to export this fully responsive file here. You can see that the minimum width and minimum height, as well as maximum width and maximum height, have automatically been populated into this design. If I click Export Tags, this is going to give me an Excel file that's going to contain all of the code required to display this design in DoubleClick Campaign Manager. So if I click on this to open it up, we'll just give Excel a second to boot up here. But this is going to have all of the code for that fully responsive design. If I double click in, you'll also be able to see that those minimum and maximum widths and heights, I'll just quickly click Enable Editing here. The minimum and maximum widths and heights that we set for the design can actually be found in the code right here. When this is served, all of the images and all of the render code for this design is going to be handled by the Flexitive servers. So it really is as simple for your ad ops team as taking this script and bringing it into, in this case, DoubleClick Campaign Manager to display the design. Now, once you've gotten the hang of building a responsive design, you can use that design to build a variety of different app products. I wanted to show you a couple of those. Now, the first one I wanted to show you is an anchored expandable. And before I show you the app product itself, I want to show you the design that I'm going to be using. You can see here that I've got a full screen design set with all these different aspect ratios that are associated with full screen sizes. If I jump over to the in-page sizes, just by clicking here, it's going to take me to a view where I can see the in-page size as well. So you can see starting at the 5x1 out to the 8x1, I've activated some full screen sizes to view. Now, I can use these because I've got these landscape sizes set to click to expand as well as the full screen sizes to create an anchored expandable design, as you can see here. Now this design has been set to always be holding to the bottom. So as I scroll through the site, it's always 100% visible with all of its messaging present. If I click on that design, it's going to expand out and show us that modal show us the modal version of the design which we were just looking at as those full screen sizes. So I resize this, it's able to adapt to the changing screen sizes and resolutions. Now, similar to the anchored expandable, we also have a responsive in-page click to modal. So right now, this is an in-page design. It's actually been set up to be responsive. It doesn't need to be. You can do this as a fixed design if you'd like. But in this particular case, we've done a responsive header that if you click on it, expands out to give you a modal design here. And it looks and feels very similar, but it's a slightly different, way to build these responsive click interactivity designs. One final design that I wanted to quickly show you is this, which is a wallpaper. Now, most wallpapers are done using static JPEGs, and when you scroll away from them, they fall out of view. With the responsive wallpaper, as I scroll down, you can see that the designs are kept in view 100% of the time, and as I resize them, they're able to adjust such that they display the content at all times. If I refresh this page here, you're going to be able to see that the designs are going to have an animation that they're able to play through as well, which is, again, unique to responsive wallpapers, which use responsive HTML5 technology. And that's everything I was looking to cover today regarding responsive designs in Flexitive. If you do have any questions, please shoot us a message. Our email is support@flexitive.com. We'll get back to you as quickly as we can. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining. Please feel free to like and share this video on your favorite social media platforms, and we will talk to you again soon.